The US 10-year yield rises today as highs of 0.063% on the RSM and services line. And we have posted out the US job openings May 2023 full report on the feed for all those interested.
All right, good morning. You guys hear me? If you are in YouTube, if you can let me know if you can hear me, that would be appreciated. Actually, I can hear myself. Hold on. I guess that's working. All right. Let me do the disclaimer. I'll be back in 90 seconds.
Risk disclosure statement. There is a risk of loss in trading stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, derivatives, options, forex, and cryptocurrencies. This risk can be substantial, and therefore investors should carefully consider their financial suitability prior to trading. Past performance is not indicative of future performance. The software, strategies, chat rooms, websites, and any associated websites are digital and used for educational purposes only and should not be construed as an express or implied promise or guarantee that you will profit by losses may be limited in any manner whatsoever. Users of the information accept full responsibility for the outcomes of their deployment in Wholesale Trader, LLC, and any associated companies, agents, management, owners, and customers are listed without reservation. Please trade responsibly. Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CFTC, Rule 4.41, hypothetical and simulated trading performance results have certain inherent limitations, some of which are described herein. No representation is being made that any account below is likely to achieve profits or losses similar to those shown. In fact, there are frequently sharp differences between hypothetical or simulated performance results and the actual results subsequently achieved by any particular trading program. One of the limitations of hypothetical performance results is that they are generally greater than the benefit of downside. In addition, hypothetical trading does not involve financial risk, and no hypothetical trading requires completely account for the impact of financial risk in actual trading. For example, the ability to withstand losses or appear to particular trading program and spot trading losses are material points which can also adversely affect actual trading results. Because these trades have not actually been executed, the hypothetical results may have under or overcompensated for the impact, if any, of certain market factors such as lack of liquidity. There are numerous other factors related to the markets in general or to the implementation of any specific trading program which cannot be fully accounted for in simulated trading or in the preparation of hypothetical performance results involved, of which can adversely affect actual trading results.
This trade room and its webinars are not intended to mirror my trades or to give specific trade recommendations. Unless themselves I share trades, potential trades that I take for myself based on my personal analysis. The goal of this room is to teach traders how to identify specific areas of trades and edge for themselves so ultimately the decision is yours. Trading is extremely risky, and if you do decide to follow my personal trades, you do so at your own risk and could potentially lose your entire account and even more. And that I was profitable and have routine drawdowns on my trading accounts. The spreadsheet you have access to is my personal spreadsheet that I use to enter zone values and ATR values that help me pinpoint exact prices for my trades. You can see when I enter zone prices into the master spreadsheet as well as the prices to enter trades whether you want to go long or short. You have the ability to copy this spreadsheet and enter your own values and use mine to confirm zone prices until you're able to draw the zones correctly yourself. The spreadsheet is not telling you which direction to trade as it has entry prices and stop prices for both long and short positions depending on the trade you personally decide to trade. All right. Good morning. Stock equity futures are finally selling off for once. All right, so you guys heard during that disclaimer there are some events, and this is close to right on top of the Izzy zone, inflection zone, one of our trading strategies. So these are some of the best Izzy trades, these important zones, 4 important areas of charting. We'll go over that in this webinar, but this is a huge directional conviction / gap down right into an important area. This is where this gapped up this day, directional conviction. It's the high volume node of that balance area. This is a very likely spot to bounce. So I find these areas, find important areas, and I wait for the most important thing, these volume events to happen in these areas. So this is the edge, right? And if you have important areas or things that you look at, and then you can overlay these important volume events, as you see here, 200 buy ice. This is what we call double whammy, one of my 6 trading setups that my course is based off of. This is the dumb money puke stop runs into the waiting hands of buy ice, and these are both threshold events. So it doesn't matter what market you're trading, if as long as you know the thresholds, the important, the volume amounts that are important for that particular market. These patterns are across the board for all futures products. So we'll cover a bunch here today, I'm sure, because things are hitting the fan right now. It looks like it's risk off. We got crude selling off, gold selling off. I haven't even looked at grains yet, but anyway, let's color this zone and potentially trade off of it. So this is an Izzy zone. I will go long here based on my based on my strategies. This market feels like it's going to get smoked today, but it's already down huge, right? And the default for these markets the last 4 or 5 months has been every single sell-off has been met with buying. So, and I was bullish, I was bearish going in last night. We talked about it on my PM webinar, how NASDAQ had a chance yesterday. It had a failed breakdown.
S&P Iceberg by ES 705 contracts.
Had a failed breakdown of this structure here, and usually when you have failed breakdown, the market launches. And I said to my room, pay attention here because this thing shouldn't have come back. First of all, based on what should happen, especially in this environment. And now it's just sitting here. Watch. And then there's a sneak attack overnight where they sell it off. So this was showing that it had the potential to do this, and it did it. And again, usually the sneak attack is overnight, but there was some heavy relative volume we'll look at. Anyway, this is obviously not bullish, but this is far enough where this can easily bounce now. So I'm going to take a aggressive long here out of this zone potentially. So I got to hurry up and get this zone in before I miss this trade. 15,126.75 down to 15,117 quarter. So this is a spreadsheet that is proprietary in my trade room. If you join my trade room, you could access this. It's a godsend. It takes all the guesswork out of it as far as where you're going long, short, and stop prices. Actually, let's see, is that correct? Stop prices, 127 is actually the top of that zone. Hold on here.
RTY Iceberg by RT 152 contracts.
I'm currently short Russell. We'll go over that. I got to trail my stop to that new event that just popped off right there. We'll get to that in a second. Hopefully it will wait for me. What did I say is the bottom of the zone? 15,117.50 is the bottom of the zone. And your ATR in here is 22.85 right now. So this is the current 5-minute average true range. It's just a default and thicker swim. You can make, come set this up on your own software. Most of the software has it, like NinjaTrader, things like that. It's a 14 period 5-minute Wilder's ATR. It's just telling me the current volatility of these markets. All right, so I know this is an inflection zone. This is this trading strategy here. Inflection zone trade. It's an aggressive entry. So what's an aggressive entry? It's the minute it breaks out of this volume event, I'm in. So I have two separate types of entries. One is the minute it breaks out of here. Like I said, I'll go long. Or another entry is when you wait for a retest of the zone, which we actually have a trading strategy that plays for the retest of the zone. We'll go over that. And then when it moves back out, that's where I will take the long. So we don't know what this is yet. So from watching so many of these volume events over the last 5 years, I've refined this to figure out, whether this is a bullish or bearish event. So if these markets are able to push a full ATR out of these areas, it's showing the tendency either bullish or bearish. Right? So we have the exact prices that we need to see to make this volume event bullish or bearish. And you can hear this stuff firing off in ES too. So these prices for NASDAQ, actually I got to get this order in quickly. So I can go long at 53.25. Let me just make sure this ATR is correct. It's actually up to 24. So you see that changed, right? So the more the volatility changes, your prices are going to change, obviously. 15,154 based on my risk assess. I'm risking $500 a trade based on these Apex accounts. We'll go over that as well. So I could put on 4. I will go long at 15,154.50. And I got to hurry up and get over to Russell to trail my stop based on this new setup. So 15,154, that's the Izzy trade. Let me get the number for that. That is 68. One second as I put this in. Alright, so that's working. So I will go long actually. Sorry. Wrong handle. 54.50. Alright, so that's working. I will go long aggressively off of this double whammy, potential double whammy setup. And this is the Izzy trade. I'll come back to that in a second. I am short Russell from a little bit ago. This was the barf short. So you can see here there was, let me get this market pulse, we'll go over this too. This is the newest indicator here.
755 contracts.
All right, I've got to get over to ES too. So lots of stuff firing off. Anyway, you had big buy ice here. That's this zone. Market, this is a broken ice setup, one of my 6 setups. Market moved an ATR away, which made that a bearish setup. Retested the zone, failed. And here we are. Now I have new events that I can trail my stop to. So my stop was an ATR above this event. Now with a new event, I don't trail my stops just because I'm trying to save money or I don't want to give money back like most traders do. And most traders get stopped out on rotations. I trail my stops based on something that happened in the market, like this. Right? So let me get this in right now so I can trail that stop. So threshold for Russell is 150. That was 250, another 100, another 86, 186. These weren't thresholds, so I'm going to draw this buy ice, these buy ice zones. You can see on the on chart, this is one entity as well. That I have mine colored at yellow, so it shows you if it's one house or one firm. You know, it's not crucial, but it's good to know if it's one person, you know, trying to absorb everything, especially when they're wrong. And it's fun to watch them puke them out. All right, so that's how I'll draw that. I'm going to incorporate. This was threshold, and this is basically, you know, you can see the same person. This is the same person that got tagged here, and it triggered again here, and it got triggered again here. So there's about 400 buy ice in this area. So I'm gonna.
RTY ice iceberg by RT, 153 contracts.
There's more coming in. Let's see if this. Yeah, it's in the same zone. All right, so I got to get this in. I'll trail my stop for my short. 1849.7 is the top of the zone. Zone is 1847, and the ever important ATR is 3.5 now, 3.55. So that means it's rotating about 35 ticks, 36 ticks every 5 minutes, which is important information. Right? So the market cares about volume events and volatility, and that's how I trail my stops. So if I were to trade.
151 contracts.
So obviously there's a lot of ice coming in Russell here. So anyway, if I were going to go short in this area, the stop would be at 1853.8. Right? I'm already short. What I'm saying is I'm going to trail my stop as I was if I'm short this new event. So my stop was way up here. Now I'm going to bring it down. Actually, 1853.8, and that's an ATR outside of that zone. So let me trail that. 1853.8. All right, so that is working. So if the market comes back up to 1853.8, that's an ATR out of that zone, and I would be out of my short, and there's potential longs in play.
RTY ice iceberg by RT, 152.
All right, so you can see, I mean, this is very important information. If you're staring at a bar chart, you have no idea what's going on here, right? You're just wondering, yeah, is this a place where this can bounce? I don't know. Bigger picture, it's through this Izzy zone, so there's no Izzy trade here like I would take on the NASDAQ. This is the next zone down. It kind of just ripped right through this zone. But the point is, you have no idea what's going on here if you're staring at a bar chart or any other chart. That's why I continue to tell you guys this is the most important information. It would behoove you to know that there's probably close to 1,000 buy ice, and it's still coming in.
152
right? Does this mean the market's going to go up just because it's buy ice? No. But the point is, there is investment in this area, and that's what's important. That this is the fuel that will drive the next, most likely, big move out of here, right? Somebody's buying this. It looks like it's the same house, same entity, and one person or multiple people are selling it aggressively. Somebody's going to be wrong. That's what we take advantage of, right? So again, this is quite a bit here, and then this is another. These are all happening in the zone. Another 300, another 200, another 200. This one a little lower. I can actually move this lower. I'm just gonna widen this zone out. You know, most of the stuff I do is black and white, but sometimes you got to use some judgment whether you're gonna. I mean, these are all separate threshold events. All right, you could draw this just to this last event here, if you want to make this zone smaller based on what just came in there. But you can see this is basically one entity. So I want to know where this all is, and I'm okay with the wider zone. So this is where you got to, as you get better at this and understand what's going on, you use a little judgment on whether you want to say, I'm just going to draw that one area here. This mouse sucks, by the way, with this broadcast I'm using for YouTube. That's why I'm like all over the place. Or incorporate it all. I want to incorporate it all. Like I said, I want to find the most concentrated areas of volume, aka loaded up traders. So I just kind of move the bottom of that zone down. It's 1845.9. Put that in instead. All right. So that doesn't affect where I stop out. Remember, I'm stopping out at 1853.8 on my short, and that would be a profitable trade. Or now I can trade off of this as well, different strategies, depending on what it does here, right? So if we break below ATR retest failure, I can take a short, and I can potentially take a long, depending on the strategy. We'll eyeball that as we get out of here. So keeping an eye on that. Let's head over to ES. Hopefully I didn't miss anything there. You know what I need to do here? Hold on. 53. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. So remember, we were going to get long. I still will get long Nasdaq out of this double whammy zone. You want to make sure that. So my entry was 54.50. Well, I almost got screwed here. This is why I don't enter in prior events, right? So if say the entry was in this, I would have moved it out of here. It just so happens my entry is already out of there. But you got to be careful if your prices to get when you go long are in prior events. Get them out of there. You can see how this market reacted at that prior event, right? So if I'm entering, I don't want to enter in that zone, but it was already above there. So this is just bouncing around now, and this looks like it's an official bullish setup too, based on our ATR rules, my ATR rules. Make sure this is correct. 22.99. This is ever changing, right? You just want to keep changing this until you get filled. So to make this a bullish setup, the market needs to touch 15,150, an official bullish setup, and you can see this is the pattern. Over and over and over and over. 15,150 was an ATR. The exact ATR, very likely back to the zone. So we actually have a trade for this. Like I said, that's this trade. We're not doing these on these webinars, and I don't really do them on any of my webinars because it's just too hard to keep up with. But you can see we take advantage of these algos that snap back to volume events. So that entry price, you would have been in at 47.75 for the one ATR, and your stops at 75. You're out at the zone. That's the one ATR. That's less than the 1-to-1 trade, but it happens very often. And then you can do the 2 or the 3. So there's sweet spots for each market, kind of like thresholds for the volume. 1s and 2s are the best for equities. So anyway, if you took the 1 ATR, I'm talking to my trade room because they most likely did. And this is, I don't want to jinx it, but it's pretty close to. Here's your ATR, and here's your retest of the zone. If it gets back down there, which it very likely will. So watching that, let's head over to ES, see what's going on here. So less setups that came in, you can see there was quite a bit of buy ice up here. Somebody's buying this passively, but they're absorbing a lot of this action, right? So a little bit ago, there's 2,700 buy ice. That's this light blue zone. Then you had 700, 12 was almost 2,000, another 3,500 in this dark blue zone. Then you had another 3,000 in this zone. So, guys, I mean, there's no one in the right mind that can look at this information and say it's not important. I mean, you've got pretty much, what is this? Almost 10,000 buy ice in this area. Like that, this is what moves markets, right? Yes, lines on the chart, they're only valuable if when this is agreeing with what you're trying to accomplish, right? So if you're at your support line, whatever you're looking at, MACD, moving average cross or 50-day moving average or whatever, that's great. But the stuff doesn't matter unless you have this kind of activity backing those areas, right? So let's draw this new zone and we'll trade off of this. I don't want to combine, again, we just talked about using judgment. Do I need to combine and make this a whopper zone, combining all 10,000 of this ice? Well, this would be like a 10-point zone. You could, that would incorporate this.
151 contract.
This is big enough on its own where I can just draw this zone independently and trade off it independently, potentially. So we'll see what's going on here. You can see this is one house here. You see the iceberg, the SION chart firing off there too. Let's draw this zone here. And got that. Let's change this color. I missed a bunch of Kurt's stuff as well. It was right when I was getting on the webinar, so I guarantee whatever it was a whopper winner, because that's how my trading life works. Every trade I miss is a whopper. All right, so this zone is 44.2650 down to 44.24. So a pretty narrow zone for almost 3,000 icebergs. I already forgot what I said. 44.2650 down to 44.24. ATR in here is 4.43. All right, so here's our prices. So to make this a bullish event, we need to see the validation price of 31. To make it a bearish event, we need to see the validation price of 19.50. So did this get up to 31? Well, what do you know? Almost the exact tick, I think. So guys, do you see what's going on here? It's like, this is why this is the perfect ATR trade. This actually got an exact ATR out of here. This is why we have the reversion trade that we're trading in my room. There's your ATR. Here's a retest of the zone. So this isn't officially a bullish setup. So I can potentially take some trades here on the long side. I do have a rule that we're implementing for the month of July. This is Algo Guy. Again, I'm not going to get heavily into this. This is an exponential moving average. But we have a BARF trade. It's called a blind ATR retest failure. All it is any volume event. If it gets an ATR like we just saw, retest failure, I will go long or short no matter where we are on the charts. Well, this is the most active. Obviously, if you're trading any volume event, this is going to be the most active and probably the lowest winning percentage. There's still an inherent edge in the trade, probability-wise, over a longer series of trades. But with any trading strategy, you can make it better. So I know there's an edge here. If I traded this setup 1,000 times, I know I have an edge, right? But you can make the edge better. So what we're doing for July, just to test this out, because when I was going back, and I'm almost done with my course. I will have it done in the brand new SI course. I'll have it done in the next week because I'm going to Dallas. I'm going to be sequestered in a hotel room because I can't go. I'm taking my daughter there to play on a national golf tournament. And she won't let me watch her because I complain too much. So I have to basically sit in my hotel room. So I will finish the course there. Anyway, what was I saying now? I forgot how I got on the tangent. Anyway, this is Algo Guy. It's an exponential moving average. I was talking about enhancing trading setups, right? So for the month of July, I'm only taking BARFs and licks, so liquidity trades. We'll go over those too, if they're in the direction of Algo Guy. So the blue is a shorter term moving exponential moving average, and these are just ribbons or bands, different moving average bands, and the red is longer term. So if the blue is below the red, that's bearish. If it's above the red, it's bullish, right? So you get some ridiculous trending days. So I'm going to just take BARFs in the direction of the Algo Guy for the month of July to see what I was getting at when I was looking at a bunch of prior trades, setting up for my course, and then looking at some of these strategies. I was noticing a huge majority of my losers were going against Algo Guys. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to implement this for the month to see what it looks like if I just trade in the direction of Algo Guy. These basic strategies, and it's these two. So this is the BARF here, the blind ATR retest failure of any volume event, and the liquidity trade. So liquidity trade is where we're looking for liquidity in the marketplace. Speaking of which, I'm going to probably get out of some of these and see where we are. I think we're close to blue lug here for Russell. Remember, I'm still short this, and you can see I stay in this trade. It did not violate this area. I know I'm jumping around here, guys, but I have a position on here, so I got to pay attention. Let's see where we're at here because I want to get out of some potentially. So we have different areas. This is another aspect of my trading room. You get the squawk and the edge here. You can see this edge is oversold. So there could be a bounce here. We'll come back to that. Let's see where we're at on Mr. Russell. All Right, so it looks like there's new lugs here. You got to refresh here a lot of times on zero chart. So you can see that on the link. Why is this not refreshing? There we go. So we got new lugs here. All right, so this is an area where I'm going to get out of half of these. First of all, we're extreme standard deviation from VWAP, and we're very close to the bottom of this prior market profile composite. So I'm just going to hop out of these because right now, or half of these, just because I'm not going to be able to watch it closely. A lot of times I'll give it a shot to blow through, but I can't watch it. Okay, so filled on that, I got out of half. I could have waited a little longer, but again, I'm not going to be able to sit on this market just staring at it. So what I do is I watch these areas. So getting in the trades is very automatic, right? Like there's no disputing where your entries are and your stops are with this position trading spreadsheet. Getting out, it's a little more subjective, right? I have my areas that I will get out that are important, and this is. Let me show this every week.
Gold stocks LGC. 238 contracts.
So this is the trading in the zone document. This stuff is directly out of trading in the zone. I put my own stuff in here, but this is directly out of here. It would behoove you to read this book, and very, very important trading psychology stuff. Anyway, number 5, I pay myself as the market makes money available to me. So what we had right there was a VWAP, extreme standard deviation, confluent with a market profile composite low. So that's why I got out of half right there, right? So I'm paying myself as I'm right. That was actually a very nice trade there. And speaking of which, I just got filled on NASDAQ long now. So I got out of some of my Russell shorts, and it was all based on this first volume event, like I showed you guys. Here. And now we hit an important area on the charts. I got out of half, and I'm still trailing my stop here. If it comes back, I'll get out of the other half.
Stocks LCL 174 contracts.
So I just filled on this long for NASDAQ. This is a double whammy. So we were at 54.50 was the entry price. That was this. Dumb money puke and the waiting hands of buy ice. All right. Here's your ATR. Well, does this look familiar? This pattern? Exact ATR, exact retest of the zone, just like ES. Launches out of here. I got long right here. I wait for this confirmation on this type of trade. Actually, I'm sorry. This trade was the Izzy is aggressive trade. So I didn't even need to see that to get in this trade. Actually, I could have got long BARF normally, but again, BARF is against the algo guys. So
Stocks LGS 221 contracts.
Meaning I could have got long another strategy here, but it's not. Algo guy is not positive yet, but you can see it's close. Like this thing's trying to pull. It tried it here. Tried to pull the blue above. No. Here we go again. Now some of the.
Iceberg buys ES 151 contracts.
So head over to soybeans. Soybeans has been absolutely nutty lately. You do not want to be neglecting that market. Anyway, if this pulls above, now you have these algos, these shorter term algos that jump in when they call it this moving average cross. When this crosses, then many times you get to trend up. So I'm not going long off that first setup, BARF long, because this wasn't bullish. But if this flips, then the future BARFs, I'll go long. I'm already long the inflection zone trade. Okay, so let's see where the stop goes here. Again, this is all automatic as far as your... Yeah, that was right around the same. All right, so again, I got long at 53.50. My stop's at 91. I put on 4. I think I put on 4. Hold on. Yeah, so I'm long 4. See how this is automatic? There's no questions. If this is where I got filled, this is where I stop out if I'm wrong. 15.091. Hold on. So that is working. So now we just let it go, right? Now, you want to keep an eye on certain areas where I may get out of this, but probably not for a while. Let's see. So, actually, I can probably get out of it. I could have got out of at least one here. This is yellow lug. It was only 20-point profit. I've already missed that, so hopefully I don't get burned on this. But actually, I should get out of 2. You see where we're at here? So, once again, I have my areas that I pay myself as incorrect. This isn't some huge trade, but I had 20 points in it, and I just missed this exit. I want to get out, at the top of that. It's confluent with the yellow lug. Of course, it's coming all the way back right now, so I can't get out. I can't get out, but it's like no profit whatsoever. So I'm just going to hold it. But it wouldn't surprise me to see this hit and come back. This is why I get out of some. This is an important area. What happens here is very important. If this, thesis-wise, right? So if this is able, this try to get inside here. It's been accepting inside. When markets accept a market profile composites, the tendency is to get to the other side. If this bolts back out of here, that's telling you something, and we're probably going to do the normal bungee jump routine, right? So I just wasn't watching this close enough. I would have got out of 2 here, and it would have been only a 20-point profit, but it is what it is. And I understand my risk reward. I can just feel you guys, some of you guys like, well, that's not a good risk reward. I see on here you're risking 62 points. Why would you be getting out of 20? Because guys, I understand the R ratio and the theory behind that, but yeah, when I put on a trade, I expect multiples, especially because of the volume events that occurred. They're great enough threshold-wise that it should produce a larger winner. But I'm not just going to hold people are like, oh, educators, I'm doing air quotes. Well, when you put on trades, you want at least 3R in the trade. Well, of course I want 3R, right? But I'm not going to ignore important areas just because I want 3R. See what I'm saying? So, yeah, you could just hold out to 3R and you're going to have a lot of trades that were, decent trades that come back on you. I hold a portion for a bigger move, but I will get out of some at important areas. So I would have gotten out of 2 if I was paying attention right here at this 75 area. And then I let 2 run. And then the other 2 run, this is where I get the bigger trade moves. I will let it run till the major lug. So say, and it still could happen, right? I haven't stopped out yet. I'll get out at the red lug if it struggles at all, and or an opposing volume event. This is for the remainder of my position. So I'll hold this thing and say it comes up here and I get a bearish volume event. Well, that's when I'll get out of the full trade. Other than that, I'll let it run. And this, you can see, this would be a big trade. This would be overall, 130-point winner, which would be a 2R trade. I was only risking 60-something points. If this can, for part of that, right, for at least 2 of them, if it can get up there. So that's how I catch the bigger moves. But I'm not going to ignore important areas just because I want 3R. That doesn't make sense. Again, that's imposing your will on the market. Pay yourself in at important areas. I pay myself as the market makes money available to me. So it just made money available to me and I wasn't paying attention. So that's my error. Hopefully I don't get smoked. Comes back up here, I'm going to watch it closely. Actually, let's get some tick strike going. If this is too loud, guys, let me know. This is important. And market pulse as well. Market pulse is the new. This is really important too. I'm seeing some ridiculous things on here. Hopefully we'll get a chance to go over some of these. Hold on here. So I want to watch this. So you can see here, this is showing I have this set at the most buying or selling for the last hour. As you can see here, well, this is part of that stop run, but you can see the heavy selling was here. No dice, no winning. They didn't win there. They tried to engage here, nothing, and there's been nothing. So my point is, when you get to important areas, you want to keep an eye on this. Like this first one, I definitely, like we were talking about, it was an important area, and I didn't really see, the buying wasn't bad, but it wasn't threshold, meaning I have 70% set here. This was only 40%. What am I talking about? Well, the market pulse is the newest indicator. It's awesome. And we're going to be using this to add to trades and trailing stops, but we're not there yet. I got to come up with some strategies for that. But anyway, you can see here, I have it, this is default, it's set at 70%. So in my trading period is the last hour. So what does that mean? It means in the last hour, I want to know what's at least the 70% of the highest buying or selling activity, right, for the last hour. So that's how I said, and then this is showing me the subchart down here. I don't like how everything is on the same chart. It gets really noisy and annoying. Hopefully they change that. But my point is, you can use, I'm sure I'm going to get burned on this trade because I didn't get out of some, because that's how my trading life works. Like I said, if I miss something, it just seems to always punch me right in the face. But anyway, what you could have done here is, in that important area, say you see this thing spiking and you'd see the yellow tip. Well, that means the buyers are active. You can give it a chance to blow through there. But you can see it got up to that important area. There was really no buying up there. And then what did that lead to? No, just pulling back. Hopefully it gives me another chance to get up there, and I'll get out of 2 if it struggles. But I'm not holding my breath because I know how it works for me. All right, let's take a look at yes. All right, so we're just still sitting in this last ice zone here. It did get the ATR, so this is a bullish event, but I'm not taking bullish events if the algo guy is bearish looking, and it's bearish looking right now. So I'm not going to take a long off of that event for that trade. Actually, I maybe could have taken an Izzy trade. Let's see here. Actually, this is an Izzy trade. So I missed an entry. If it comes back, I'll get in, but I should already be long. This is exactly like why we went long NQ. All right, so this is an important zone. This was balance here. You had a little bit of direction and conviction here. You had a buying tail there. This was its own little balance area on top of this balance area. So this is an important zone that this market could bounce. All right, so I take these trades aggressively. So I wait for volume events in these zones, aka Izzy zones, inflection zones. If that moves out of there, so I should already be long. Actually, I might not have been long. Let's see. I think it just missed the fill there. So I haven't missed anything yet in here. Let's make sure this is right. 4.39. So long price should be, for the aggressive entry, 31.50. I could put on 8 MES, risking $500 on these Apex accounts. We'll go over Apex here when we get a chance. So let's see if that touched 31.50. I don't think it did. I think it came just inside. So when I enter, I'm getting in just outside of an ATR, right? See how it didn't get up there? Because I force these markets for my entries. Yes, this proves itself as a bullish setup if it can push an ATR out of there. But for me to enter, I need to see it get outside of an ATR. That's showing me it's extra special strong, where the algos won't, or because they usually snap it back. So anyway, I should my order would have been at 31.50, so I would not be filled. If this comes back, I'm going to go long the Izzy trade at 44.31.50, and that would be a Titanic setup. What's a Titanic setup? It's very technical. When the market moves into a big iceberg, aka Titanic, very technical stuff. I make them funny, and they're meant to be memorable as well. So that's the name. That was one of the first setups I came up with. So again, does it mean the market's going up just because there's been 10,000 buys in this area? No. It's more likely, right? Because the big money can keep just throwing in buy ice, and eventually the market's going to give up. These sellers are going to be like, okay, uncle, and then the market will rip, right? But we have distinct setups called broken ice. This particular setup I cannot go short on because it's already proved for my rules. It's already proven it can push an ATR out of this zone, so I will not take a short off of this zone. But there's always, if it does break, one, that's telling you something for overall thesis. Like if this area can't hold after 10,000 buy ice, look out below, right? So, but I can't take a short off of this most recent setup. The only thing I can take is the long, which I will put in right now if it comes back. And I'm gonna watch this area NASDAQ that I already missed my opportunity to get out of a couple. I'm hoping it gives me one more chance, like I said, but I'm not holding my breath on that one. So we'll see. Let me put in my Izzy trade for. So I'm gonna buy 8 MES at 44.31.50 if the market goes back up there. Let's see if you guys got any questions. So if you got questions, throw them in the book, in the YouTube, Bookmap YouTube. Multiple huge buy ice this morning, yes. Still dipping, exactly. Plan is dynamic, thank you, Tom. How can you see iceberg orders? Well, you see them right here. So this is the CME. Actually, I should have put that in the, I did actually. So guys, I put this in the, click on the link, you got this here, right? So actually I didn't put in the SI indicator stuff, but if you go to Bookmap, this is my link. You get the special discounts for the Global Plus, which is highly recommended because you get the sweeps. But anyway, if you go over here, actually, I'm sorry, you want to go to the Bookmap Marketplace. I'll put this in for next week, by the way, so you guys, everything's in one spot. Actually, I'll put this in now because that's like a cloud, and it'll go in right now. All right, so this is this. So this is, you need the MBO bundle, and you also get the Trader Map Pro and, as of right now, Market Pulse, I believe. Yeah, this is, I'll show you some examples today. That's the newest thing. Like, as I keep telling you, having Bookmap on your side is like working for a trading firm. So I worked at an algo, it's called Wolverine Trading back in 2010 when I was jumping around trading firms when I couldn't make money scalping anymore. And they literally would have the developers come up to you and say, "Hey, we got this new tool. You want to check it out? And we'll put it on your computer." And I would try it out. Right? It's the same with Bookmap. It's like having your own personal trading firm coming up to you with all these new things, and everything they come out with is just better than the last. So let me put this in here. Bookmap marketplace for MBO bundle that powers the SI indicator. Be helpful if I can spell indicator. There we go. Let's make that a link. All right, so you guys have access to the document, right? Just scroll up. It's the first thing I posted today. There you go. So we'll get back to this in a second. Let me just get this in. Sorry, I forgot about doing that. There you go. I want this all on one page, so obviously that's not going to work. All right, that's good enough for now. It's just 2 pages, but this is everything you need. We'll go over this here in a little bit. So anyway, you go to the, you need this, so it's $134 a month. Guys, I tell you all the time, there's certain things you want to cut corners on where you can save money and get it free. Like this is why do you think I use Thinkorswim? Like there's certain things that you don't need to pay for, right? Like the charting, Thinkorswim. If you put any money in the account, you get access to this charting, right? So stuff you can cut corners on. This is the most important thing in trading in futures is this SI indicator, right? So people are like, "Oh, it's so expensive." Okay, well, first of all, if you're hurting that bad where you can't pay for the most important thing, then you probably don't want to be trading at this juncture in your life, right? Wait till you have some money behind you because you're not going to make it. I mean, you could do the Apex stuff, but if you're trading if you're trading your real money account, trying to pay your rent, and if you lose, you can't pay your rent, it's not going to work. Just trust me, it's not going to work, right? So point is, if you can't afford this little stuff, I mean, this is like a couple points in the ES on a one lot, right? It's not like ridiculous. This is the most important thing. Do not cut corners on this. So anyway, you get the MBO bundle, Trader Map Pro. This is all the stuff you get. The sub chart, on chart, liquidity tracker. I don't use that very often, but it's cool. You can read about it. Trader Map Pro, awesome. And then the market. This is incredible, right? This is what we were just looking at. So that's what you get. To go there, you need to get that. Then what you need to get, I'll probably put this in as well. So once you have that, you need the Rhythmic data feed, right? Click on this market data here. You have to have this because they're the only software provider that utilizes the CME MBO data. What's the MBO data? You can read about it all in here, right? Right here, it tells you exactly what it is. It's market by order data. This is in the enhanced data that shows you increased transparency. It shows you where the icebergs are. It shows you the full depth of the book. This is another important thing that people don't understand. You know, if you have any of these other software providers and you look at your dome, yeah, it's showing you a bunch of orders in the order book. They're not real, right? It's only real what you're seeing, and most people don't even know this. The only thing that's real is the first 10 levels up and down. If you're using anything besides Rhythmic, the rest of the stuff is just not real. It's not really there. It could have been there, but it's not there now. If you're using the MBO data, every order in this order book is the real order. That's why then we can see the liquidity in here and see, you know, where these real orders are. So that's a huge thing right there, right? And then you can obviously, you know, it gets more advanced where you can know your Q position in the book, and then the biggest thing are the icebergs and the stops, right? It's showing you. This is even showing you. See, you only see the market by price for these other software providers. It's just the best 10 price levels. Market by order, all price levels. But then you get the icebergs and stops, so on and so forth. So that's what the MBO data, you need to get Rhythmic. They're the only software provider that I know of. There may be one more, I think, recently that provides you the information. And then people confuse this too. Well, what's the bundle? Well, if you're only trading ES, which I highly recommend you just don't trade the ES, the crappy ES, I should say, you know, If you only want to trade NASDAQ and ES, then yeah, then all you got to pay is $39 a month. But if you want to trade crude, you can see if you just add these individually, you see the price goes up to 156. Or you can do the bundle, which covers all of these exchanges for $99. Right? So that's that stuff. I'll put that in that document as well. All right, so we're just sitting here waiting. Of course, NASDAQ can't get back up there, so I can get out of 2 of these. It's just got to sit at my entry and torture me. There you go. Keep an eye on this as well. Let's see what else you guys are saying in here. Do you think Bookmap can help very short-term scalpers? So I say this every week, guys, and it's not me bragging. It's me telling you my story, right? I used to be one of the biggest scalpers on the planet. I made $15 million scalping for my trading firm, right? And for me, split with them. If I can't make money trading off this dome, I highly, by hand, I'm saying you can maybe write programs. I still don't think there's an edge in this anymore, right? Because it's just so fleeting. That's what people are trying to scalp over. It's no go. Good luck. It's not going to work. You show me you think you can do this, and you send me your results for the last 6 months and show me you're profitable trading tick for tick. One, as a retail trader, you're paying what, $3-4 minimum, probably $3.5 $4 round turn for commission. So you're gonna run yourself dry just by your commissions, and then you're competing with these computers. Again, I was one of the fastest in the world clicking a mouse. But I wasn't as fast as a computer, and that's why I couldn't make money doing it anymore. So my point is, if I'm not doing it, you may want to reconsider thinking you can make money trading off of the dome. Now, that brings me to, there's been some changes lately, right? So with this market pulse, we do have scalp trades, and so the market pulse and the ATR trade is more of a scalp trade where you get the full ATR away from the volume event, and it comes back, right? That's more of a scalp trade where you're in and out. But there are huge scalping opportunities. And again, here's my trade room just to show you guys all the awesomeness you get in here. All right, so if my trade room I just posted, and these are not for public. This, if you join my trade room, you get this strategy vid short take. So here you go. Exact examples on how to trade these in scalp mode: crude, wheat, and then there was one NES. One in GC, and I'll be adding more in here. But the point is, yes, you can scalp. I might show if we get a chance. I know nothing's really going on, but first of all, I want to watch this NASDAQ if it gets back up here. Could you just get back up to the 75 so I can get out a couple of these? I mean, this is why this has taken like 85 years of my life watching this nonsense. Then these are just algos, guys. Look at this. This is why you don't want to get scared out of your trades on rotations. This looks like a Christmas tree. Well, what is that? That's this. Computers, algos, putting in and pulling orders, right? That's why for me to be wrong on this trade, I don't panic, because remember, I'm already long. I don't panic when it does this. For me to be wrong, it's got to come all the way back and get through the volume event and an ATR outside the volume event. That's when I'm saying wrong. Until then, they can do this for the next 3 hours. Do I enjoy it? No, I hate it just like everybody else, but this is what you're dealing with if you're trying to scalp or you're trying to play with these computers, right? So it's really annoying. That's why I try not to watch it. So anyway, yes, there's ways to scalp if you're using, in my opinion, market pulse. That's the only thing I've seen besides the ATR reversion trades that are in scalp mode. If you think you're going to trade off this dome, good luck. I will put some large sums of money that you are not a profitable trader on a longer term time frame, month, 6 months, a year. If you are, please send me your results and show me your trades, and I will bow down to you. How about that? And I'll even give you access to my trade room for free if you show me you can make profit over a longer time period. All right, so I'm still short Russell here. Never moved above this zone. Let me see. I think we might be approaching blue lug here. That's where I get out of all of them. And I told you what was going to happen in this NASDAQ because I missed my exit. All right, I just can't get back up there. I would have been out of a couple here. Confluent with that. This thing is struggling to get back out of this market profile composite as well. Just today's trade. It's an easier look. So, but at least I'm short Russell. I still have my Russell short on. So if I get stopped out on Nasdaq, it's not going to be the worst thing in the world. But like I said, I would have been out of 2 there. All right. So I mean, blue lug isn't for a while here. So I'm holding. Remember, I got out of half of my Russell at the bottom of this guy just because I couldn't keep an eye on it, kind of like I did screwed up with Nasdaq. So I still have half on. The other half, this is what I was talking about, the bigger type trade. So now I'm holding on to this Russell. It's either blue lug, opposing volume event, or it comes back and stops me out. That's it. So this is where you get the on a portion of my trade. I'm going to get the multiple R if this keeps rolling down. And here we go. It's like I'm psychic. Did I not say that this was going to happen? Because when I make mistakes, I get penalized greatly for them. I should have been out there. But look, if this comes all the way back, I'm still not. It's got to get all the way through this volume event, and then I'm out. Right? Other than that, they can play their algo games for the next 7 hours. I'll be here waiting. All right. So there was really nothing here in ES. We were waiting for to go long. And I'll still go long as this doesn't violate this most recent volume event to the downside. What's that price? You want to keep up with your ATR, obviously. So the ATR is 4.27 now. So the long invalidation price, I'll still go long at 31.50 as long as it doesn't touch 1975. It has not gotten down to 1975, so I'll still take a long if it comes back. Should we look at crude and see what I missed? Actually, there was a bunch of soybean stuff. Guys, I'm telling you, like this was the trade. I actually missed this trade yesterday in the trade when I caught the bond trade, and we'll look at a couple of these. This is yesterday. Let's look at this. These are the zones also my trade room gets. Another bonus the trade room. I post these every day. All these ISI zones, these inflection zones for all these markets. Even I'm talking lean hogs or cattle, hogs. Got 17 different markets. You get the inflection zones, so you don't have to do them. You can do these obviously yourself if you know what you're looking at, but you get the benefit of me doing them. Anyway, this was yesterday. Look at this trade. This was bonds. I did catch this trade. Tell me if you've seen this routine before. ATR retest failure. This was a broken ice setup. This is actually going to be part of my new course. This example. This is a broken ice. Buy ice came in 4,000 buy ice in bonds, which is a ton. Wrong. The price is wrong, bitch. Pardon my language. From Happy Gilmore. And look at this move. This is a point move in the bonds. That's pretty instant too. So this is a perfect example. Is buy ice always right, or are you just automatically buy because you see the big money buying? No, but I do know somebody's loaded up in this area. Somebody's going to be wrong, and we take advantage of it. That was that one. And then look at soybeans. I missed this. This one made me throw up in my mouth yesterday. Hold on. And I talked about it on my webinar, and I still missed the damn trade. Right here. It actually went further than this. Look at this trade. It's going to be another course example. This one was sell ice. You guys see this routine? ATR, retest, failure. But look at this trade. This is soybeans, guys. This isn't like NASDAQ. The money's just as green in soybeans as it is in NASDAQ. That's why I keep telling you guys to be looking at other markets. Look at this trade. And this is like a 25-cent trade. It's the equivalent to 25 S&P points. So please monitor other markets instead of just staring at the ES rotate 90% of the day. Right, let's see what happened in here. Speaking of which, I can guarantee this thing's been moving like the NASDAQ lately. I guarantee I missed a trade in here. So let's see. It's just when I'm on these webinars, it's just too hard to draw zones, enter values, and then everything on one screen. There you go. There you go. So you had here, this is a delayed double whammy. All right, let's get this market pulse off for a second. You had 221 sell stops, and then right after that, there's the waiting hand of the smart money, and they're not always right, but they are the biggest in here, and they push the markets around, so you definitely want to know what they're doing. So that's how I would have drawn that zone. Let's see what we missed. This is a double whammy, so I make them dark blue. Remember, I have 6 distinct setups. We have the Dumb and Dumber, Stop and Hold, the double whammy, Titanic, Broken Ice, and the Unicorn Step Bros. Step Bros is buy ice, or like sell stops and sell ice in the same direction. Obviously, buy ice, buy stops in the same direction. All right, let's see. Hey, what do you know? It's just I hopefully you guys are catching on. Like, wow, this says the same stuff in every single futures market. That's pretty crazy, right? It doesn't matter what market you're trading if you understand this and the tendencies. There you go. over and over and over and over. Let's see if this is guys, that's what trading is, guys and girls. I know I say guys a lot, guys and girls. It's finding patterns. There's no bigger pattern, there's no greater pattern than what's going on with these volume events. This is an ISI zone, so it should already be long this market. This was some way before. Let's see what this was. So this ripped through, and this is the first test back, and it actually gapped up the other day from here too. So this zone's still relevant. I just want to see what it was back here. Where are you at? Yeah, so this was a very important zone back when it happened. This was a year ago, and you can see the market is still respecting this area. Anyway, gap down, selling tail, huge directional conviction. It was important, still important, and more stuff is happening still in this zone. Now it did rip through it, which was telling at the time. When the markets rip through these inflection zones, it's giving you information. But it kind of didn't really rip this day, but then it gapped up this day, and here we are. This is a great long. I should already be long aggressively because I take my ISI trades long aggressively. What time is it right now? It's 8 o'clock. Oh yeah, we still got another half hour. Is that right? Or am I through the time? I can't even think what time. What time did I start? 7? Yeah, we still have another half hour. God, it feels like I've been talking forever. All right, let's see if I can still get this trade on. The zone was 1338 down to 1335 quarter. ATR in here is currently, again, I'm just using this ATR. You can see it right in the middle of the screen there. That's wheat, sorry. That's not beans. This is beans. 3.43. Means it's rotating about 3.5 cents every 5 minutes. There you go. So the ISI trades, the aggressive trade, I should have been long.
Crude stock by CL, 231 contracts.
We'll go over crude here in a second. I know I missed trades in there. All I could put on is 1 based on this risk. You could trade the micro. It's pretty wide. You get a lot of slippage in there, but you know, I highly recommend trading micros instead of just one contract, because if you're trading one contract, you can't get out of a piece, right? It's all or nothing. But I don't have time to set up the micros right now, so I'll just trade one. So at 1342, I should be long off of this setup, of this delayed double whammy. So I should already be long. If it comes back up there, I will take that trade, and let's see what Algo Guy looks like. I can potentially put on some barf and liquidity trade. So Algo Guy is negative, or bearish, I should say. So no trade there. The only thing I could put on, the ISI trade I'll take regardless of where Algo Guy is, because the ISI zones are so strong. So 1342, if it comes back, I will go long. And that is this strategy here. 68. Let me set that up. Nope, wrong account. All right, that's working. So if it comes back, I should already be filled. I just missed it. So, and I know a lot of people are like, well, why don't you get in right now? You get to see if you should be filled, you're saving yourself 2 cents. But just because my brain won't let me do that, like I feel like I may have got away with something not putting that trade on, if especially it comes back and blows through this zone. So I should have been in at 42. If that comes back to 42, then I'll take the trade. Yeah, you can get in right now because I should already be in, but that my brain prevents me from doing that. I feel like I got away with something if it comes back. All right, let's go over to crude, since you can see here's your another bounce off of that zone in NQ. Talked about this 10 times already. I missed partial exit there, but this, guys, these are, you think it's just randomness that these markets bounce off of these zones? I mean, it's nuts, right? They respond to these areas because that's where traders are trapped. I'm still short Russell. I just want to see where the Russell is. Then we'll go back there. It's fine. I got everything working there. All right, let's see what we missed in crude. first of all, let's take a look. Whoa. This is going to hurt. Let's just go back and see what we missed real quick so I can complain about this too. Oh, that's what that was. It was the crude number because Monday, or there was a holiday this week. Wait, today's Thursday, so it comes out at 10 p.m. or 10 a.m. Central. So the number just came out. So you had to be quick on this. This is obviously right under the number, but this looks like it was, yeah. Did you guys see this? You guys ever see this pattern? It's just silliness. I mean, there's not another word for it and how often it happens. Like, if anyone could look at this and say this isn't an edge, or this isn't a inherent pattern, like you're blind. Like, it's not. It doesn't matter what market you're trading. I keep telling you guys, if you have the bandwidth to watch, anyone has the bandwidth to watch 3 markets, right? So stop staring at the shitty ES all day long. Pardon my language. Get another market out there. We'll look at crude. Look at soybeans. I don't know if this got a full ATR. It doesn't matter now. It's already got out of here, but it's not a coincidence. It came back and held this area. Right? That definitely wasn't an ATR, but this might have been. No, that wasn't. Regardless, you see that this is, an important area. So, and something else has fired off since then, so let's just go to the current. But I want to watch that area. If the market comes back there, say I get short, I definitely want to watch that area because I would probably get out of a couple if it can't punch through there. All right, so this was 229 buy stops. So this is why you want Global Plus too, because it gives you the sweeps indicator. These are these white dots. Somebody swept this order book. These were the stops that fired off here, right? So I'm going to start this. It started the zone right there. So somebody was sweeping over here too, but these sweeps were most likely stops. But this just helps you draw the zone way more accurately when you can see the sweeps. Oh, I just got filled on something. What was that? Oh, I got filled on soybeans. All right, so we're long soybeans now too. I'm long soybeans. This is not a mirror my trade room. But if you are watching what I'm watching, then you should be long soybeans. I'm talking to my trade room. Actually, that's right. All right, so that's the most recent stop run. All right, incorporated the prices that fell on the spike. That's how you draw it. So I pull my bubbles off, draw the zone, then you can bring them back on. You can see we're just bouncing around the zone. Somebody keeps buy swiping this too. You'll be able to see it here. This wasn't that heavy. This didn't get to the 70% either, but you could see the spikes in the market pulse. All right, 71.13 down to 70.84. There's your zone. We'll look at the bigger picture here. And algo guy, see where that's at. When I say 71.18 down to 70.84. ATR in here is 0.255. All right, so to make this a long setup, it needs to touch 44, short setup 59, 70, 59. So we don't know what this is yet until it breaks out of here. You can see right there, there's liquidity up there. That's a magnet. Very, very, very likely, almost 100% in my view. That's my opinion, to get up there today. Let's see what algo guy looks like. Hopefully we can take some lick longs. Remember, I'm only trading the direction of algo guy for barf and lick. Let's see if this is pulling across. What do you got, algo guy? Where are you at? There you go. So this is close. So this is, I have an opportunity to trade this because by the time this gets, remember we need to see the 41 print, or what did I say, 41, 44. By the time this gets back up here, this will probably be pulling the blue across. That means I can take the barf trade and the lick trade long. I mean, they're basically on top of each other right now, so it's already basically, I'm not fading algo guys, what I'm saying. So what does that mean? Remember I said the barf trades and the lick trades for the month of July, I'm trading only if algo guy agrees. Well, it's neutral right now because the longer term exponential moving average is on top of the shorter term one. So I can still take this barf, I can take the lick, and that's where I play for that. And then let's see if we got any Izzy's in here. So this is a potential Izzy short, right? So I have different strategies, and I can take the barf short in as well. But this zone was important. Recency. You had a little directional conviction there, buying tail, and that would be the bottom of this most recent balance as well. So if this turns out to be a bearish setup, I can take an easy short. But this is why I wait. Do you see me? So if you're just staring at a bar chart, you're like, I don't know what to do here. This is an important zone. Should I just jump in the short? Let's see what happens. I'll just play the probabilities. Yeah, there's probability, but your probabilities are much greater if you wait to let this volume event tell you which way to trade. And we have rules for that. What did I say that validation price was? Hold on. 44. So if it's such as 44, then the short plays off the table, right? Because it is able to push an ATR out of the zone. That's how I determine what direction to trade these. So if it gets to 44, then I'm looking for that. I will go long. Barf and lick. Keep an eye on that. I think my trader just sent me something. Hold on. Oh, we got, do we have chirps right now? I thought we had a Fed chirps. I hurt my thing off. All right. There was nothing. All right, so we'll wait and see what happens here in crude. Still long, getting tortured in NASDAQ. Did I mention I missed my partial exit up there? And I'm still short Russell, I think. Still short the Russell. I could trade this as well. It just hasn't retested the zone. I could put on more shorts, different strategies. What's the other strategy? Barf. I think I'll go guys in this direction. Let's take a look. And I don't think, let's see if there's liquidity down here for a lick trade. No liquidity, but guys, and this is not the liquidity that I'm talking about. These are algos playing games with you. I'm talking liquidity that sits in there. It's been in there forever, and you know they want their fills. How do you know they want their fills? Because they leave it in there. If something, like for instance, if something came out here and OPEC announced something right now, this market, say they said they were cutting production, this market would just rip right through this liquidity. Well, that shows you the longer it's been in here, the more they want to get filled. The more they want to get filled, the more they're going to get filled. Why? Because they're the big money.
151 contracts.
They're going to push this market up into these prices. All my setups are based on my personal experience as a scalper. This is the game I used to play. You see it just moved down, by the way? So I used to put this, I didn't trade crude, but I traded ES, right? So there'd be, I say this every week, but look at these guys starting to bring this down. I would put the orders in the order book, and I could trade up to 3,000 E-mini contracts at a time. And then I would start to test the water. I buy a couple, I buy 50, I buy 75.
Stocks LTL, 168 contracts.
And then I would wait, and I would see, okay, the market's no one's fighting me here. And then it would get closer to my order. Look at these guys bring this down. It would get closer to my order, and I would just step on the gas, and I would force it right into my orders, my resting offer, and I'd be out of the trade. And that's what I would do all day, every day. So that all my setups are based on my personal experience. They're not hypothetical. All right, so I don't know what's going on here. We still haven't gotten out of that zone, and this liquidity is starting to move down, so maybe they're starting to worry they're not going to get filled. Who knows? I'll still take the liquidity trade potentially. But all right, so still short Russell, still long Mr. NASDAQ. I call him a different name some days, but I'm not going to call him a name yet. He hasn't done anything wrong to me yet. And then what's the other trade? And then we're long, I'm long beans. All right, and the other thing too, first of all, let's look at our internals. I probably shouldn't have even been long here. So I have a rule. I mean, Izzy trades I could be long, but I have a rule. If the ADD is plus or minus 2,000, I don't take trades in the other way because that's like a trend down type of day. Yeah, you can see it. So I should not be even long this setup right now. I should not be long any equity. Look at this ADD, advanced decline, 2,400. That is excessive. Why can't I find this damn thing? Hold on. So we have a rule in my room that I don't take trades. You know, Izzy trades, you can roll the dice, but you can see this market is having an extremely hard time rallying, right? You're going to get spikes up, but they're very short-lived. Where the hell is the... There it is. right? And it's just like this. You get these little pops, and then they get whack-a-mode, right? Because the overall market is getting hammered. It's like risk-off day today that the big money's playing, and they're already coming in overnight, and I don't think the volume's crazy right now, but look at this relative volume overnight, or into the number, right? So these are when you see relative volume like that, that's when you get these bigger moves, because somebody's selling it, and then you got your usual buyers that think everything's going to bungee jump like it is the last 5 months, and they're thinking now, oh crap, and then any moves back, they're trying to get the hell out of their longs, right? So that is its own little important zone. I'd say that came down right there to there. And you'd see that it's just like a pattern we look at our SI events. The market moved below, came back, right to the bottom of that, failed. It would not surprise me at all to see that. These longs that absorbed all of these selling this morning are feeling some major, major pain. And then when you see this alone should keep you, if you can add this into your trading strategies, where when you see markets below a ton of, or above, whatever, either way, a ton of relative volume, you don't take trades in the other direction. Then when you see the ADD at minus 2,400, this thing is very, very, very likely to end on its lows today, right? So you could just, this is an outside day. One, you don't see relative volume like this very often. Two, you almost never see, especially the last 5 months, an ADD that's minus 2,400. It would behoove you, and you can see, look at the tick too. See how it can't get above zero? This is the NYSE tick. This is the NASDAQ tick. This is the NYSE tick. This thing can't get above zero. The ADD is at negative 2,400. You know you're below all that relative volume. This is a day, an outside day, that doesn't happen very often, as we all know, where you just say, I'm not taking any longs. I'm waiting for pops, and I'm going to short this puppy, right? So if I would have seen this, I wouldn't even have put on that long NASDAQ. It's too late now, and I definitely would have got out of those couple that I missed. The point is, I'm short and short Russell. You're going to have days, right, where you just, they're like, no go on the long. This thing can't get above the zero line. How often do you see that in these equities the last 5 months? Never. So it's just, this means this is program selling today, right? Big money selling. Screwed this up. All right. And then so yeah, this long is probably going to punch me right in the face, but that's fine. I'm shorting that, Russell. All right, so you guys got any more questions here? Oh, can you see iceberg orders? I explained that. You said thanks. With your inflection zones on thinkorswim, are they eyeballed, or is that a think script? They're eyeballed. I base them off the 4 important areas of charting quickly. Like I said, you guys can make these too, right? If you understand what you're looking at. So I make them, they're tops and bottoms of balance areas, right? A lot of times the stuff lines up, but like we showed this balance earlier. Here's the bottom. Tops and bottoms of balance areas. High volume nodes of balance areas. That's just where the most trade occurred in a balance or two-sided trade for a long period of time. I don't usually draw high volume nodes on their own. If something else occurs there, which many times it does, then I'll draw them. And then buying and selling tails. So this one I did have a zone. I just took it off today, and I got yelled at by Madam Shizzle in the room. Asked me why I took it off. I could have kept this zone in, but it kind of just hung out here for a few days, and I thought this was more important, but I probably shouldn't have deleted that. I'll probably put that back in. Anyway, buying and selling tails and directional conviction. So gaps. So this is a regular trading hours chart, so I can see gaps. Gaps are directional conviction. This is like directional conviction. I did have a zone here, so you can see here, like this was a great zone that it did bounce off a few times. You had buying tail, directional conviction, came down, buying tail, came down, bounce. Like these are big bounces. These are like 30, 40 point bounces, right? Then it finally gapped down through it. But the point is, those are the 4 areas that I draw the inflection, the Izzy zones. Very, very powerful. You just waited for Izzy zones, and with volume events, that's all you need to be a profitable trader, in my opinion. Let's see what else you guys say. I already answered the scalping question. Don't get me on that tangent. Do you have to pay for the sweep indicator separately, or is it the MBO bundle? Sweep indicator is part of the Global Plus. I actually have this as the welcome document when you come in my room. I'm going to show you this here quickly because I just definitely, and you get a discount to Global Plus. It's the only thing you get a discount if you click on my link. But you can see here's a comparison. So you can see the difference. So Global is the second one in, third to the right. Global Plus is the fourth to the right. You can see all the extra things you get with Global Plus, and this is the most important, to see the sweeps, help you draw your zones. Why does that come in? Very attentive support. Sweeps indicator. And if you're trading, you get all this other stuff. I mean, if you're trading through Bookmap. So highly recommend it, and that's what the discount is on my website anyway that I posted. Look in that document I posted in the YouTube channel. So highly recommend the Global Plus. Right. That's the sweeps indicator. Can you explain very short how you trade strategy and what kind of tools you use in scalping? So that the market pulse is what I use. You know, again, that's a work in progress. We're going to have distinct trade. I'm going to have a course on that and trading. We're working on the setups in my room right now. If you come to my room, you can learn. I show a lot of examples on the webinar. If I get a chance to show today before I get off, I'll show one. But I have videos, distinct videos from just what I've been seeing in the last couple months. It's like the next big thing. It's probably the most impressive thing since the SI indicator that I've seen from Bookmap. Our price made by algos and computers, orders still by human. Most of the trade in all these markets, 85% or more of the trade are algos. So that's what you're competing against. So you better damn well have a trading plan, and you better not think you can just sit down and just start clicking a mouse on the dome, because you're not going to make it if you're doing that. I'm just telling you. Find something else to do if you want to do that. Guys, my brain is built for scalping, right? I cannot stand this. I can't stand it. This kills me, right? Sitting here waiting for this thing, especially when I miss an exit. Now I sit here and get tortured for an hour, right? My brain is not built for this. My brain is built for the shorter term stuff. But it was either, okay, do you want to appease your brain or do you want to make money, right? If I'm trying to just, for the action or whatever reason that my brain wants this, it doesn't work. I cannot be, I'm not a profitable trader trading off of the dome. So that's why I don't scalp off of that, right? But yeah, I mean, inherently, I've had to condition myself to sit through this nonsense, right? But if you want to stay in the game, from what I've seen, from my 24 years of trading experience, this is the only way you're going to be able to stay in the game if you have this information. I'm not saying what you're using, there isn't an edge, but I'm saying you don't have all the information if you're not using this, period. Like, if you're a profitable trader already, well, you'll be a much more profitable trader with this information. There's not a single doubt in my mind. Are Ludwig labels available on TradingView? I think so. Maybe not. I think she's considering it. That's a question for her. Just if you sign up for a 3-day trial, just I think, did I put that in there? By the way, did I say? Guys, again, this is what I posted earlier. I don't think I put in here. Why is that not? I guess you got to copy and paste it. There we go. So I meant to put this in here. Hold on. Why isn't it letting me? Oh, you know why? Because that's not. Hold on. I think she might be responding. So she's in my trade room as well. What price are you stopping out on ZS? Oh, I didn't put my stop in. Obviously, that's moving against me. I take it. Hold on. Thank you for that heads up. That was my trade room giving me a heads up. I did not put my stop in, and this is just the normal. There you go. Here's the torture. Back to the zone. So my price is, so you should have this trade, Snow Leopard, you should have this in the, so if you're part of my trade room, you have the master sheet. So you can see, you can't edit this, right? But you just make a copy and then you edit, you can put in your own values, but you're always going to see what I'm doing on the master sheet. So you can see, so I entered at 42, my stop's at 31 quarter. All right, let me put that in. Thank you for pointing that out. All right, so that's working. Anybody know if she's got lugs for the TradingView? All right, so anyway, what I wanted to put on here is the 3-day trial, not trial, and say you saw on Bookmap webinar for special. Okay, Sorry guys, I just put this together this morning, so, but this is everything in one place now. Here, let's just do this too, because I don't like it on 2 pages. There we go. And again, you just go in here. What I'm talking about is you just go to recite right here, do the 3-day trial, name, fill out this stuff, and the comments say you saw it in the Bookmap webinar. All right. So this is, it's already retested once, so just retesting this zone again. Did I say I can put on a bark trade here? Hold on. Whoops. Oh, crap. I just closed out of my trade room stuff. What am I doing? Hold on, guys. Sorry. Okay, got it back. Look how high tech I am. I figured that out in a heartbeat. In the old days, that would take me an hour to figure that out. All right, torture continues in NQ. Still short Russell. It's long, being tortured in beans. And what do we do here? This was supposed to be an Izzy trade that I think I missed. All right, I still can get in this. So remember, this was a fade trade into that Izzy zone for crude. That's an aggressive entry, so I just forgot to put this in. Let's just jump over here real quick. ATR, keep changing that. ATR right now is 27.275, which is about 28 ticks. So I can short this at 70.52 aggressively, and I can put on 5 MCL. That's the Izzy trade, which is, and we'll go over this Apex stuff too quickly. I think that they just had a 90% off. I think it ended last night though, but there was probably one right around the corner. What am I doing? Izzy 68. All right. What did I say the price was? I think we're there right now. 52 I can short. So I'm selling 5 at 52. All right, so that's working. So again, what that trade is, we move to an inflection zone. These are my zones that I supplied it myself and the room. Here's, look, let's see how this rejected out of here. That's what happens. And got the volume event, so I'll take that trade aggressively. So that's working there. I was going to go long, and I'm aware that there's liquidity and stuff above there, but this trading setup is proven to be. It didn't get an ATR above here, did it? Hold on. I may not put that trade on if it's got an ATR above. I just didn't look. Hold on. That would be, that validation price is 46. So if that got up to 46, I can't put on that short. It did not. So that's meaning it never was able to push an ATR out of that zone. That's how I determine what the volume setup is. So this is a short setup. There's a prior volume event here right after the number. Keep an eye on that. If it can't blow through there, I'd probably get out of one of them if I get filled at 51. So we'll keep an eye on that. You'll hear it fire off if I get filled. Other than that, let's see if there's any more questions. I got about 5 minutes here. If you got questions, throw them in the Bookmap. The Bookmap YouTube. Oh, Joe Dallas answered that, so they don't have it on TradingView. She's in my room, so if you get in there, maybe you can. Guys, are you seeing a blurry screen? Like I'm looking at the screen on YouTube. It looks really blurry. Can you not see the prices? Why is it like that? That looks terrible. Sorry if you're seeing that blurry. I have no idea why that screen's so blurry. Yikes. Are you guys? Does it look blurry to you on YouTube? Anyway, she's in the room. You can always get a hold of her, obviously through her website, or she's in my room nonstop. So you just say her name's Trader Gal in there, and any questions. And if people ask her to get TradingView, I'm sure she'd probably consider it, or she probably already is. A pit bond trader told me he looks for 3 ticks with a 20-lot breakouts and has average a losing day every 2 weeks. Okay, different people have different strategies. Tell them to show them your P&L and the trading strategy. And I don't know, guys. I'm just telling you, the best edge you can possibly use for anything is the SI indicator, right? You can trade these setups on their own without any other information. If you have the areas like we've been talking about, it makes them that much better. Right? Do I think he's being honest? I have no idea. A pit bond trader told me he looks for 3 ticks with 20-lot breakouts Breakouts of what? Like, that's not enough information. I don't know. Again, and anytime someone tells you they're making money, tell them to show them your P&L. Like, what was my greatest challenge in my trading? Back in the day, it was adapting to when the markets were changing, right? Like I was scalping, like I said, I was one of the biggest scalpers on the planet, and then I was making millions and millions of dollars, and then overnight it disappeared. And it's real hard to just say, oh, well, golly gee willikers, I guess that's over, right? I hung on for another 7 years trying to find another way to print money like I was doing, and I at best was a break-even trader. But I wasn't doing well enough to support my family, so I had to get out of the business in 2013. And I was out. I was sitting in, right now, 6-7 years ago, I was sitting in a doctor's office waiting to go in his office and kiss his ass, trying to get him to buy my genetic testing product that I was selling. And then Dr. Brett, I just got filled on the crude short, by the way. Dr. Brett Steenbarger, he's he is the top trading psychologist on the planet. He wrote a book back then called Enhancing Trader Performance that he sat behind me for a year and watched me trade, and he saw how I viewed the market. So anyway, he contacted me in like 2017, said, hey, there's this incredible software I've been looking at called Bookmap. You might want to look at it. And it reminds me of what you used to look at. And I said, I looked at it the minute, this was before any of this stuff. This was just this, why is this, guys, are you seeing a blurry screen on YouTube? This is really annoying. Why does it look like that? Oh, your screen is clear? I don't know why mine's all blurry. Look what I'm looking at. It would be very upsetting if my Bookmap webinar was, look at this. You can't even see the damn prices on there. Anyway, he sat behind me, said, you want to check out this Bookmap product? And I just brought it up and saw this stuff. I just was seeing the bubbles and the liquidity. I'm like, I'm back. Like, this is all I need. And then they came out with this stuff, and I said, now we're really back. Like, I'm on my way, my whole goal is to be a multi-million-dollar trader again. It's hard to do on your own, right? That's why I'm doing, like, I got smaller accounts, and I'm doing the Apex stuff to help with these trading strategies and stuff, and we'll go over that quickly before I get off here. But when you have a trading firm behind you, it's a whole different story. And Apex is the closest thing to a trading firm. So we've talked about Bookmap being the closest thing to a trading firm as far as the instruments and all these new things that they come up with. It's just like having these developers at your fingertips that say, here you go, right? And Apex, so that's this. Put that in the room too. This is the best one I've seen. I know these are popping up all over the place. This is the best one I've seen. I've been talking about them. I did it myself just to prove before I even told anyone in my room. This was a year and a half ago. It was 2022, March of 2022. I had one of my friends was a trader, and he told me about this, and he knows his stuff. And I said, are they legit? He says they're completely legit. So I said, you know what? Well, I should be able to qualify if I'm a professional trader. I should be able to qualify. I'm going to qualify, see if they do what they say they're going to do, and see if they back me, and then pay when I'm supposed to get paid. And that's exactly what they do. Everything they say they do. There has been no nonsense with this from anyone that I know, and I put my name on it, and this is the one. There's other ones that are a bunch of nonsense that literally are just trying to scam you out of your payment because they know 95% of traders fail, and they make it even more ridiculously hard where, okay, you passed the combine, now you got to do the secret squirrel combine. Oh, now you got to do the secret squirrel double live combine. It's just a joke, right? This one is exactly what they say. They've paid out that much money so far. They have not had one problem, not heard from one person. There's always going to be a disgruntled trader that something happened and they're making, guys, if this wasn't legit, you're going to know, or if something happens, you're going to know in about 2 seconds through social media. But this is the one I put my name on. These things are an incredible way. So back to like having a trading firm behind you. First of all, you do one of these. So this majority of mine that I'm doing for all these different trading strategies I've been showing you this entire day are based on this, right? So you do this one. Use my code. You at least get 50%. No matter what the discount is, that whatever special they're running, my code Pulcini 50. I put it in the document. You get whatever discount they have at the time, even if it's 90%, which it just was. They'll be coming out on another one probably today. A lot of times they extend it, so I'd wait to see tonight, see if they extend the 90% because it was a July 4th special. Anyway, you do this. So this cost at the time $29. $29 to do this. And if you make $9,000 before you lose $5,000, you get back with this is the one thing I don't like about it. They say $150,000 account. It's not a $150,000 account. It's a $5,000 account because if you lose $5,000, you blow out, right? So that's a $5,000 account to me. Anyway, you get funded, and all of a sudden you got a $5,000 account for $29, right? So if the worst case scenario is you got a little skin in the game, because a lot of people can't trade on these simulators because they're like, well, it's not real, and you don't trade the same way because you're not crapping your pants when the market's going against you because it's not real money. Well, you wouldn't be crapping your pants for $29 most likely. I'm not making fun of $29. I'm just saying it's not going to kill you if you blow out. It's going to kill you if you put $5,000 in an account and you're trying to learn something new and you lose $5,000. That's going to hurt. So do these. If you get funded now and you do well, you're risking $29, and now you got a $5,000 trading account, and they let you link up to 20 at a time. So now you can actually have a $100,000 trading account where you can lose $100,000 if you have them all linked up. See what I'm saying? So this is a great way. I'm doing them because I make so many mistakes in these webinars. First and foremost, I learned the hard way trading my live accounts on these webinars. I kept leaving orders in the order book, forgetting to get out. You guys already seen, and missing my exit like you saw with NASDAQ. So I'm like, you know what? This will help me not blow out my money that I live on, right? That I need to live on. And it's helping me with these trading strategies where we can keep track of each one of these trading strategies. They have their own account. And you guys can do the same thing, right? Get in there and get in my room, learn the slug, maybe take a slug and an IZZY, have a different Apex account for each, and then watch your stats and watch it grow and things like that. But this is the best thing you have, where if you get funded, now you're not crapping your pants because you have to pay your rent or you can't lose your rent, right? You're backed by this and you're just like, okay, it's going to suck once you go live if you lose the $5,000 account, but you just re-ante and do it again. You're not losing your rent and probably your marriage because you're blowing out your savings accounts, right? So highly recommended. They pay, they fund you. Everything is legit. I wouldn't put my name on it if it wasn't. If anyone ever has any problems with them, you let me know immediately because I want to know, right? So that's what I do. Again, you can do what you want, but that's what I recommend. And all that stuff's in the document. All right, one quick look, and I got to hop off here. I'm probably 4 minutes into the other guy that's talking. So beans just back to the zone. Nothing happened in there yet. Crude, I'm short. Hey, well, look at this. You guys see this routine? So there's your ATR trade. That's the other trade we're doing in my room. Right back to zone. I can't find my mouse. There. So my stop's going to be up here. If it stops out, it stops out, but I force it. I don't panic on just regular rotations. It's got to come back a full ATR. It's got to get through the volume event. Then it's got to go another ATR. Then I say, Uncle, you win. Until then, I will hold that trade, and I potentially could put a BARF on. I can put a BARF on. So if that comes back, I'll go short BARF too, because you can see Algo Guy did not pull above. Remember all the BARF trades for the month of July I'm taking in the direction of Algo Guy. See how this tried? This is bearish in itself. How it tried to pull, the market popped above here. It couldn't pull the blue above and back below. And you get access to this stuff in my room too. I give you guys my templates for Thinkorswim, and my Sierra chart stuff. So that I'll take. If that comes back, I'll put on the BARF short as well. Same price, 51. So long as the ATR is around the same, I think it is. So I'm short that. I got to get my stop in there, and that stop is. I'm short stop is at 71.50, and I got 5 on right now. So I'm gonna put that in before I hop off here because I'll forget, like I always do. All right, that's working. And then I'm still long NASDAQ torture treatment, and I'm still short. So I'll still watch this 75 level if I get a chance. If it fails up there again, I'm going to get out of two of the 4, and then I'll let the 2 ride for the reasons that we've talked about. But you can see. Do you think it's just coincidence this market just keeps holding this area? That was that. That's why you need this information in your trading. And then, other than that, I'm still short the Russell. And like I said, I'd be very careful being long today, unless that ADD can get back above, I should say, minus 2,000. I would not be taking longs. Like I said, I made a mistake taking that NASDAQ long. I should not. You're going to get pops, right? You can see this is popping above the zero line right now. But the pops in this type of day, this type of trading environment are going to be very, very short-lived most of the time. Unless this thing recovers back above the minus 2,000 line, I'm going to pretty much avoid shorts. But you're going to get these pops, right? But again, I'm not stopping out to get up there. So you're going to get pops, and then it usually does that. Like shallow, deep on these types of days. So be careful going long is what I'm telling you guys. All right, that's it for me. I do this twice a day in my trading room. And next week I will be actually in Dallas, but I'm gonna do a remote session, kind of like the late night talk shows. Go to different cities. That's what I'm gonna do from my hotel room. Should be interesting. Hopefully the internet connection is adequate. So I will see you guys next Thursday from Dallas. And like I said, I do this twice a day in my trading room. Come in there and you can watch it and learn in there as well. Thanks. See you guys later.